Well, it's not too late to get those last gardening chores in. I'm with Jim Pranger from Twofold Landscape, and Jim, you really have some pointers for us of things that are not too late to be doing in our gardens for preparation for the winter.
Right. I'd really like to draw your attention to some grasses. We've got to get some things taken care of here, and a fall feeding on the grass is super important. Of all the feedings that can be done on a grass, the fall feeding is probably the most important, because now is the time when the grass gets the opportunity to store sugars, carbohydrates for the winter and in preparation for next spring. So getting a nice balanced fertilizer on the grass right now is really important. And you can go down to pretty much any do-it-yourself garden, big box place, and get a fertilizer. The exact brand isn't nearly as important as that it gets some kind of a feeding that it's well balanced, and including some iron with it for moss control and some color, nice green color in it is real important to get down right now.
Okay, so what about fall leaves? There's still some leaves on here. Should we be taking them off?
You should. Any large quantity of leaves is going to bury the grass and really be a detriment, and it's going to cause brown dead spots in there, and come spring you're going to wish you had taken care of those things while you had an opportunity now with still some weather that wasn't too cold on you. So getting those up and off, and I'd recommend saving those leaves, either putting them in the beds or mulching them, composting them on site. They can be used later on as a nice feed to other planted areas.
What about mowing? Should we mow one more time before the weather gets too bad?
I would encourage that. Give it a try to get at least the mowing done in November. And you know, grasses don't totally go dormant in the Pacific Northwest. They just slow way down, and they'll get off color on you. But if there's an opportunity, and usually we get some break in the weather, and between December and January in there, pull the mower out one quick time and try to go over it. Clean some of that litter up, and it'll really make it nicer for starting the spring growth.
All right, and then I see there's some really beautiful ornamental grasses here, so let's talk about that. Should we leave them up? Should we take them down?
Well, ornamental grasses are great in landscapes because they provide some winter color. So I don't like to cut them. I'm personally really much in favor of keeping them up and keeping those tassels hanging. You can see a couple different opportunities. Yes, and so I like to leave them standing as long as they can hang in there. And in the winter storms, rains and winds, they'll start to flop over and look pretty ugly. So when that happens, if snows hit them and they really sort of flop out there, then go ahead and it's time to take them to the ground. And I like to take them down pretty much as low as you possibly can without really cutting deep into that crown. Some of the cases, we need to cut them away from the sidewalks and other things, brushing against your house. That's never a good idea. So get those cut back. But if it's just a matter of leaving them go, leave them for the winter interest. I like them like that.
They're pretty. And then what about other perennials? Should we take them down this time of year, wait till spring? What is your thoughts on that?
Perennials get very leggy as well. Lavenders and rosemary, very common examples of ones that will start to stretch out their branches and really hang out there and start to get real floppy. Those should be cut back at any time. Right now is when I do mine. Roses is a big one. To keep those roses cut back, you really need to do the hard pruning on roses right around President's Day. But now is a good time to get them down to 2 to 3 feet tall.
All right. And so we're moving up a little bit. How about to shrubs? What's for shrubs?
For shrubs, here's an example of some native dogwood that is used as a ground cover type thing, but these can be just pruned to taste, and it's just a matter of how tall an area you want to have accented in your landscape with shrubs, and these guys can go down. We've also got some hedge shrubs out here, some escallonia behind us that have been pruned for the winter, and those are pretty much ready to go and put to bed. And some other ones that haven't been done yet, they're pretty gangly and look pretty ugly and clearly ready for it.
So it's always to taste, so you should probably take it case by case.
You really should. Yeah, a lot of shrubs are chosen for that. Now, rhododendrons and some other more common things, there's other times in the year. Summer is good for rhodies, but for right now, some of these shrubs that you see around us here can all be just pruned down as far as you'd like.
All right, and then trees. So what should we be looking at our trees?
Trees, real important to get trees cut, especially deciduous trees. Flowering and fruit trees in the wintertime when they're dormant. You're going to do the least damage on those guys. We've got a few examples here of some maples and some others, and it's good to get rubbing branches off of them. Anything that's growing back towards the center of the tree, clip some of those things back. If they're really just sticking out their eye pokers and they're a safety hazard, you definitely want to get those cut back. So, and anything that's just a sucker, just clearly it doesn't have side branches on it, it's just a straight water shoot coming out of there, clip those off too. Now's a good time to get that done.
Well, you have really given us so many good ideas and good tips here.
Thanks.
If you have any other questions, please go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to Tufl's website and you can ask them more questions about your home landscape. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.